One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again on the show right here on Honor TV. The show called Musical Journey with the King Alfred, right here on the show. And before I do that, I just want to say, welcome to the show. I want each and everyone out there to click the share button, please. Just click the share button wherever you are. Click the share button because I have my special guest today. Uh, yeah, Marshall Shonhai and also Vocal Bakasa right here on the show. Right, so make sure tell a friend to tell a friend to click the share button so that we'll be right here on the show. Okay. And shout out to everyone out there who are celebrating their birthdays and also who are enjoying the Valentines. So, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cross over straight to Zimbabwe to invite our guest right here. Our first guest I'm going to call upon is, you can see the man himself is right there. Yeah, he's right there. I'm going to add another one again. Let me see if I can add another one. Let me see. I always added the next one. Wow, wow. You can see that on. They are all here. You you can actually see they're all here, right? Uh Vangwane adults, my gentlemen, Ari Nasi. All right. So what I'm asking to you guys, please click the share button. Just click the share button so that at least Monowese Ange Ari Pano. Because today we've got a lot of things to talk about, and they are here today. Masha Shonai and also Vocal Bakasa. Let me first of all say welcome to the show, Mr. Bakasa Vocal.
Yeah. Thank you, King. I'm honored to be here with
Uh,
my
Vamos
older
kufara nasi.
brother.
Vamos kufara nasi. I'm not a valid. I'm not a valid.
At Men's Conference.
Don't even start our main conference. To call
Yeah.
so we'll talk about that later. And welcome to the show once again, Mr. Marshall Shonai. How are you doing, Mr. Marshall Shonai?
I'm all right, King Alfred. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Mhm.
Vocal, my guy, what's up?
I'm okay. I'm gonna say
Ladies and
Bro.
gentlemen, wherever you are at the moment, please, I beg you, click the share button because today is a musical journey with the King Alfred, whereby we'll be navigating through Zoo music. And these gentlemen I brought you today, they are most, what I can say, pivotal people on the ground right now in Zimbabwe. So I will start off with Mr. Marshall Shonai.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Mr. Shonai, if I'm to ask you today, the question I need to ask you right now is please, can you tell me where were you born and where exactly you are at the moment?
Okay. I was born in Mashonaland East, in a little village called Maruta,
Mhm,
in Domboshava out there. That's where I was born.
mhm.
And right now, in Dripaden, I'm in Highfield, by engineering, Pamachipisa. That's where I am.
We're gonna Shinzo man, right?
I have three areas. We say extra large and Trevor Dongo.
Uh-huh.
Yours, yeah, those areas.
Wow, wow, wow. And
Mm.
over to Mr. Bakasa. Where were you born? And if you can tell us exactly where you are at the moment.
okay. I was born in Harare,
Mhm,
Mbari, and I grew up in Bari also.
mhm.
I'm 32 years old, turning 33 next month.
Oh, what, 33? Wow, wow.
Yeah.
You're still young. Are you searching?
No, I was found.
You
I
were
didn't
found. Now,
find. I was found.
this is
You was found wanting.
you found long time ago. Okay. You know what, gentlemen? The reason I invited you because I know that you are very influential in Zimbabwean music. And on this program, we are trying by all means to navigate through Z music and try to bring up some uh, things that people need to know much about, because there's so much speculation or so much hearsay about things on the ground in Zimbabwe. And uh, for having you here on the program, I'm so grateful. So I'll start off with Mr. Marshall Shonhai. Uh, can you please tell me a little bit about yourself and your background in entertainment business?
All right. Thanks for that question. That's an important question, and I think it's a it's a question that needs to be answered, because
Uh-huh.
it has been a question that has come up a lot of times, where most people wonder where I've come from. Sometimes when you don't have when people do not know where you're coming from, it's difficult for them then to understand or to trust your intentions. So my background in entertainment goes quite a long way back. I think this year marks the 24th year in my involvement in the local music
24th, yeah.
industry. Yes, 24 years. But the important thing is that, for me, the most important thing is that I was in the background. I
Mhm.
was never in the forefront. It's just in the recent years that my name has started popping up. I started off. My background is mainly Christian or gospel music.
Uh-huh.
That's where I cut my teeth, and I know the ins and outs of the
Mhm.
local gospel music industry. As far back, as 2000, when um, this little girl came on the scene. Nobody knew who she was, but she had an amazing voice. And
Mhm.
later on to become a very prominent gospel music artist. And I'm talking about Fungisai Zvakawapanga. Way back in the day, people like Mono Mkundu, I started knowing him as far back as 2000, when I was still singing, believe it or not, gospel music. So it's been quite an interesting journey. And then I came, I'll call it mainstream. I came into the mainstream
Mhm.
thanks to, and people will not believe the person who really brought me up to the forefront.
Mhm.
My good friend and brother, McDonald Chidawayenzi McD.
Mhm.
Um, he's the one who brought me up. We're working on a certain gospel album, and then after that,
Not
he
know
was
where
like,
you're
you know what?
coming from. It's difficult for them then to
Yeah.
understand or to trust
So
friend and brother McDonald Chidawayenzi McD.
there's a sound. Are we okay?
Yeah, yeah, we okay. We okay.
Okay, cool.
Wow, wow, wow.
We
I'll
started
try to add
doing
him up. Yeah.
live DVD recordings and stage management.
Uh-huh.
Through the years, we've worked with people like Pastor G, Tembalami, Pioneers Jaravaza and the like. And then
Mhm.
in 2017, I started working with Janet Manua.
Mhm.
And I've been working with her up to date. And then from working with her, I think that's when people started asking questions: who's doing this? Who's working with Janet? Who's working the stage and everything else? And
Uh-huh.
I think also what brought my name forward is that we started doing music reviews, and as far as live events are concerned,
Mhm.
there's certain things that I was not happy with that I thought maybe we could improve on. So I started writing quite a lot about that on social media,
Uh-huh.
and that caught the attention of a lot of people. And then, to cut a very long story short, I mean, we then came onto the forefront, working with the likes of Benna Boy for his Zim Show,
Mhm.
Winky D, and the like. So yeah, we are here today.
What made you to like to stay on the background for so many years whilst we're doing some wonderful things out there? Chicha kata kuti murambe muri muri background musingade kuzikana. And all of a
Uh,
sudden, you know what?
I,
Ndakubudikira.
I I don't think it was by choice, but I know from a very young age that my job and my work, or even if you want to use Christian term, my ministry, or my calling.
Mhm.
I'm called to support
Mhm.
the person on the ball. If it is soccer, you're supporting the man on the ball. You know,
Mhm.
um, that is really, I'm happy, and I'm at home being backstage and
Mhm.
just being part of the crew behind the scenes. But I think lately the role has become a little bit more prominent. I
Mhm.
think that is it is mainly because of the magnitude of the shows that we've been working on, that has sort of made people ask questions. who's this person who's always running around, this person who always wears black and is running up and down the stage. I think that's when people started asking questions and the name started coming up.
Because I think we just got a stage management, because I think so many people, they admire your job or your work that you do. Kind of multiple stage, hands in
Thank
kura,
you.
I can see my shows like I wonder, after I've done my shows like I wonder and I notice, you know what, this is the guy again. We've done it. I think Chadzoga Panya. Over to you, Mr. Vokal Bakasa.
Yes.
I understand you were once Stunner and also Sekala's manager before. Can you please explain to me what inspired you to be involved into musical industry?
Okay. Thank you, King Alfred. I was a soccer player,
Soccer
and
player.
then yes.
Mr. Shonhai knows he believe very team. Come on,
Well, it's not about believing. I actually know it for a fact. So yeah, it's a true
Mr.
story.
Shonhai, come on, tell me about it. Come on.
I don't know why he didn't excel or go forward with it, but yeah, he's actually he's actually quite good.
I think supporting yeah, mom chatara yeah. No, behind you up, madam come on, magamre gerera.
Yeah. So my childhood friend was Ribe
Yeah,
from
if you can speak
Chillsport.
up so that people can hear you.
Okay. So my childhood friend was Ribe from Chillsport, and when I got injured, um, I didn't have anything else to do because I was sitting at home. So Ribe vangu wangu unokwanisa kuuya chimbochikora kumaflats kunoko
Kumbani,
kwakuri
yeah.
kumatapi kwana Fantan. So through Ribe, that's when I met Fantan. And then vatatanga kutotamba tese. Chillsport wasn't there. And it would be funny if I tell you that I'm one of the founders of Chillsport.
Whoa. Can you say that again? You're one of the founders of Chillsport.
Yes.
I don't see someone going about social media. I'm going, man.
Not even. Chillsport is family.
You know what? This show, to be honest, is vintage and also it's unfiltered. What we try to
Exactly.
bring here, Panapa, we are trying by all means to avoid the hearsay, so that vanhu vari kunze who support the music industry yezimbabwe vanga vachiziva the pivotal people vari kuplay a part as well, because there are certain people vasinga mention when things are happening, but not kuti vanhu vese vanoda kumentionwa, but I still feel like kuti it's all good as well kuti munhu anenge aita basa rake amentionwa. I think zvinopa energy or zvinopa munhu futi energy yekuti aite sei angachiendera mberi. Sorry for cutting off. You can go ahead.
No,
Mr.
okay. It's okay. So when we were together, takungogara pachimutoma freestyles and stuff. I wasn't really interested in music management. I didn't even know that I was going to become a manager.
So what pushed you to be in the music management then? Because wangoga gara pa Chillsport uchungoona uchiita ma freestyles. What pushed you to say what and now we in the music management?
Patangwa zvema freestyle pakazo Colors Noma Days akatanga kuuya pascene. So Colors, Chillsport signed Colors. It was one of their first artists. Colors, Liku, Bounty Lisa, Wangwakawanda, Jimbari, because they wanted to be part and parcel of the movement. Yangatangwana Fantan Madezwa, because Fantan was a DJ. He's a DJ. I reads Mabawa. So Vangot guys, inini ndo pusha music. Sasa ungatiteka group kedu, tivatogara pasi, tikati group reduce on Chillsport. And then logo re Chillsport rakagadzirwa by a long-time friend of mine who's an American white lady. Anonzi Miuna. She's the one that designed that iconic Chillsport logo in the palm trees and the vinyl. So when Colors came in now, tatakuda kuenda kuma shows. So Fantana vati, boys, tikuda munhu anotirongera mashows chichi. And papa shekwa mari yekombi yekuti tiende kushow and tada ngonoimba for mahara kuwebwedzi tatatoisa paposta tatokumbira mudara zimunhu kuwebwedzi ndara hatise paposta chichi. so pashekwa mari yekuti tiende kushow inda nemari vanangobuditsa mari tikati endechi kushow boys. And then from there Colors vangoti uyu ndiye manager wangu kubva nhasi.
Okay, I just want to hold you there. I just want to hold you there, Mr. Vokal. Once again, to those who just log on, welcome to the show. Musical Gen with the King Alfred. Please click the share button. I can see our numbers are going up. Please click the share button because right now we got the two pivotal people in Zimbabwe music, Varipano Marshall Shonhai and also Mr. Vokal Bakasa. Hansi, he's one of the founders of Choose What Ipapo. Mr. Shonhai Babata andika.
Aiwa hata pabata. Teach manya napo wangwana.
So Jenny yakazendera mberi ku Epworth.
Jenny yakazendera mberi vatatonoimba. And
so who was there?
It was Colors, Bounty Lisa, Liku, Kina, Fantan India Norids.
Wow.
Funny enough, a funny story. Colors akatombodzingwa pastage achinzi aiwa yoibva pane mumwe mufana aimba anonzi Donex weku Epworth. Tikuda Jonex panapa. Iwewe ibva nanakina venyu chichichi because people vanga vasitova kuziva vanhu ivavo. So from there the movement grew, and then I had a bigger task when Colors moved out of Chill Sport because he was now an independent artist.
Do we have any reason why Colors moved out of our Chill Sport records that time?
There wasn't any particular reason, but I think he was now growing, and Chill Sport yanga startanga kurecorda madezo. There wasn't any recording equipment. The first person, if I may recall, who bought a condenser microphone and a mixer was Probablis from UK.
So what was his first name before Colors? Raka Shandisa. Because Colors, I think the rakatonzwa my manje. Ainzani before then.
Colors ends Smash.
I'll get back to you. Mr. Vokal. It's so interesting. That's an interesting story. Mr. Marshall Shonhai.
Yes, sir.
The navigation in the music industry, name Komana Mugins. Do you second some of the things that I would well, sure Panicha Mugade kuwedzera on this.
I think he has spoken it as it is, and I've always challenged Vokal. And I think the last time I saw him was a couple of weeks back at a soccer tournament when I told him that you owe me. This guy owes us a book. We're supposed to work on a book project.
He does. He does owe us.
Yes.
He does owe us.
We're supposed to. I think that is part of our problem in Zimbabwe, that we don't document our own history. So yeah, we've had these conversations, and a lot of people can collaborate. What Vokal is saying, he's been very pivotal and was there from the very beginning. So this is not a hearsay, and I think these are some of the unsaid stories and some of the unsung heroes of pioneering the genre that has taken over, called Zim Dance. So I think people talk about when people talk about Zim Dance, so they only want to talk about the artists themselves, but they are key people
on the background.
Yes, and I mean like people like Vokal here. Yes.
Yeah, you know what? That's why I have to bring this show. Could at least we need some of the things that were not mentioned. All right.
Yes.
Because I still feel like they deserve my accolades. They deserve that mention. You got please panaba guys. And I so feel good. This is fair when they push the movement. You understand? And for you guys to be here, I think it's a pleasure for you to be here. Anyway, moving further to you, Mr. Shonhai.
Yes, sir.
What inspired you to become a social activist? Because I saw you are kind of like a social activist, whereby anything Shineda is social or socialism, whatever I can call it, you are there to say a word. You are there to comment the knowledge.
Yes.
Can you tell us?
All right. I think we are living in interesting times. I think we are at a very interesting time for our nation in Zimbabwe, and I think there are certain issues that have pushed most of us. And I think personally, I didn't set out to become involved in activism, be it political or social, but then the necessity of the day, the challenges that we all faced as Zimbabweans, the quest for space, in be it entertainment space. So for me, my activism is multifaceted. I am an activist. My involvement in music is actually activism. So for me, the need to advocate for certain changes, to become a helper, because if you're looking at social activism, you're looking about, maybe you can define it in four ways, where you have some people who are helpers, change agents, you even have rebels in there, and you have advocates. So for me, my role is to bring about social change, to be a voice of reason, and to speak out for those that might not even be necessarily able to speak for themselves. So my social activism has even seen me run for public office. This was not political office, but civic. We ran for council as independent candidates sometime back in 2018. So the need for change, the need for newness and new ideas, is what inspired me to become an activist.
Okay, thank you so much for cool explanation, Mr. Shonhai. Vocal, coming back to you. I think Mr. Marshall have said that earlier on, Guti, you owe us a lot, and I think not just him, but a lot of people out there, because you got so much knowledge and so much talent in the music industry in Zimbabwe. But it feels like Guti, I don't know, uneka kulenga kaona kwere, and I don't know how to express. You need someone who pushes you, right? I understand. Right? You're also into music. You're also into management. So I don't know what the could be check feel out, this is my comfort zone, because what is your comfort zone?
Hey, this is a hard question.
Let me just cut in there before you go on, Vocal. He's even managed, or is currently managing, a soccer player as well. So yeah, that's Vocal for you. A man of many talents.
So okay, let me before you comment, let me just read some comments here. Hanzi na Simbarazi Chakare, Vocal anoda manager vano. On that note, I've just mentioned earlier on, Anna Chakare again, Vokal Bakasa is weak. Wimbai Gava, Vocal is laid back, Zake. Let me see other comments right here in the comment section, because Vocal, I think people feel like you owe them a lot. Let me see. And the Vocal muombe uyu ano inspire my ghetto youth. And I can second what Sean Jonga is saying, because anything that you say or write about, so many people, the traffic in where papo, supporters or English Taura. I don't know, Mr. Shonhai, if I'm lying about this.
Well, I think there are people with traffic with with the real numbers out there, but I think for me as well, it's I marvel. For me, I don't take it lightly. I don't take lightly the engagement that people bring to my social media. That's why I try and get to every comment. So yes, people do engage, and I think maybe I've tried to stay away from the normal, where it's social media these days is more tabloid. It's more about gossip.
Yeah,
it's more about who's fighting with who's dating who, or my socialites I think that is the main preoccupation. Then there are certain key and sensitive issues that we then overlook, and then we don't talk about them. So that's what I try and engage in. I'll give an example. I'm an avid follower of our culture, especially our Rora culture. That's why I have a book that's coming up regarding that, because we had a lot of young people asking me, I want to get married, or I have a sister who wants to be married in Baba. How do I charge?
Come on, kwenda Mr. Shonhai. And Nazi Valley, it's a leap year as well. Were you
Yeah.
treated today to just cut me?
I think this is where you say no comment.
No. Okay, Voko, sorry for interrupting earlier on. Tell us, what's your comfort zone?
This is a very hard question. I've never been
Vocal
asked this.
under Shamu. That's the honest truth.
Thank you. Okay, I think it's a hard question for
Okay.
you. It's a hard question
Yes.
for you. Okay, let me
Yes.
just maybe try to specify or in a way to understand.
Mm.
You want to manage colors and also
Yes.
Stana, right?
Yeah.
You left. Can you tell us
Yes.
the reason why you left?
I believe
And these
people.
are big artists in Zimbabwe by the same time, even up to now. Why did you leave?
I think people grow, and
Uh-huh.
if you reach a certain target,
Uh-huh.
you need to grow. You need to outgrow yourself. You need certain new challenges. You need to set new challenges. So the reason why I left Colors is because probably I was looking for another challenge. I felt that I had done a very good job in Zimdanso, and I was also I'm also a very good what can I say? I'm also a very good friend of Stana. So when Stana approached me and told me his plans, I had to manage him. And I think that was in our first year. We won 7 awards, and that was the first awards he had won in 6 years. That year alone, and we managed to get a collaboration with Ford, and we did country tours nationwide. The reason now I had to leave Costana is because I felt that my job here was done. There is nothing else I can do here. Because
So you wanted a new challenge.
Yes, I wanted a new challenge. That's when
Okay,
I went
so
to.
Mr. Shonhai, can we forgive him now?
Yes, I can come in there. I totally understand where he's coming from, and I also sense that in our industry we have certain managers, without naming names, who I think have stayed on a little bit too long with the artists, where you
Yeah,
can.
uh-huh.
There's a certain level that you can get to, and if you hit that ceiling, it actually takes a man to say, you know what, guys, I think here I'm done. Let me look for a new challenge, or even you can even let somebody else to come through who can take the artist to the next level. You might be an artist who's good. I mean, an artist manager who's good at managing someone in their initial stages as they are starting up. Right. Once they cross a certain threshold, then you can release them, and then they can go into whatever. So my grind with Vocal is that he hasn't then brought through other artists after Stana and Colors, which I think he's had a flirtation with Toki Vibes, and I know we spoke about Bazooka as well on New Year's Eve. Yeah, so there are a number of artists that I think you can still help. I mean, he's too vital to the music industry.
Okay, so all right, tongo muti kubora akafana nani kubora manager kubora tingatawuze. Ku premiership akafana nani kubora. Tingapana zina.
Premiership.
Just Mourinho.
Pane mamwe makocha aingoti anongorambisa timu iri panumber 3, iri panumber 2, haisvike championship, haitore league. But you know what? I think on a very serious note, though, I think God is someone who's very important to the music industry, and I think he needs to just assert himself. A lot of young people can learn from him. That's my challenge to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your contribution to this topic. Yeah, Zim music and also music for Jim with King Alfred. Shout out to all those who are in the comment section. I can see all your comments. Hans Mbare, and Dogunova Kumana, Mr. Shonhai coming from Walter Makase. Mr. Shonhai, my king, how are you doing? Coming from Sax. Vocal is a good manager, but our artists and music industry is not ready for professional artist manager and artist publicist. mukamisa kune imwe nyika anofane mari, but in time tichasvika hedu. Okay, I think ndo patana ndada kuti tisvike now. I think I'm gonna start off with the vocal. Looking into our Z music, right? The time yakatanga iwewe nepa
Yeah.
yawe, can you tell us the positives moves apo, right, nema negatives aripo, or else chichikuda kunge chigadziswa kuti tiende mberi?
Okay.
Because we don't want to talk about negative things every time, but we just need to know kuti zvakamira say from the time yakatanga my positives are on now, right? And also so that can go implement kuti tiende mberi.
I started doing music 2012, 2013. So what I can say is probably long, but I have to cut it short so that my explanation becomes short. I think the music, I've seen music evolve from the distribution. We used to have CDs. Title enda kunaona no benama CDs tina masong edu tutompoka na that time probably equivalent of $5 kuti mpumongo aya ndo masongs edu atarekoda sapachaya vanhu vachida kubenwa ma CDs please mungopfekerochi masongs edu ipapo. And then music evolved from CDs to Bluetooth, from Bluetooth to YouTube, and to fast forward, I think music has really evolved. People now can monetize their work. I know a lot of people are making money whilst they're at home. People are streaming their music online. People are watching their videos and stuff. But the negative thing about it is not so many people have managed to grasp the evolution of music. They are still waiting for music to come back to where it was, because they believe the old way is the right way. But I don't think the old way is the right way. Right now people have moved, and if you see the listenership of the people that consume the music, everyone has a smartphone right now. And everyone goes on YouTube almost every day, and people are on Instagram, are on Snapchat. And I get surprised to see that not many musicians that we have in Zimbabwe are on TikTok. They do not even push their works on TikTok. And it saddens me to know that but we are failing to use those platforms. We want people to play music on radio. Radio right now is not the main platform to push music. That's what I think, because I feel radio is controlled and internet is not. If Marshall sings a song, I guess about internet, one way or the other, I shall play it, and if it's good, I shall play it again, and many people grasp it. But on radio, it's either there's a music yako nungoramba iri mu library airidzwe, or inorizwa pakati peusiku 3 a.m. or DJ. You see, so radio is controlled. So it saddens me to see many people crying foul about radio. Achiti radio iri kutisapoteja, but we have other means. We have other means of making our music go out there. Right now, I'm going to $5 yako Visa card. Music yako pa YouTube, you sponsor the music. Masha upari when that's done is a Benna boy wake. Before is a Benna boy, my music will come there as an advert, and we are failing to grasp this. Yeah, and we are failing.
You know what, Voka, from the way you are navigating and also the way you are narrating, it looks like you know what's needed. And at the same time, again, we are talking about something Zim industry. And I don't know kuti wakuzita privately because you are supposed to be someone who manager someone. Am I lying, Mr. Bakasa? Mr. Shonhai?
No, it's he's on point. And we have a number of artists who are doing that. But for me, I think it goes back to the makeup or to the structure of what we call the Zim music industry. To be honest with you, if you want to talk to me, I'm involved. I'm full-time employed in the local music industry, but sometimes I question that, do we even really have an industry to talk about? I think it's fragmented, it's not structured, it lacks certain components that can drive our music. I think locally we've done well. We've seen a lot of good artists coming up, and the ideas that Vocal is mentioning, they're good for an individual artist, and you can make it within Zimbabwe. But for us to then break out of Zimbabwe, into Africa, into the rest of the world, we need an industry. We need to be structured. We don't have record labels in Zimbabwe, so it becomes very difficult.
Hold on there.
Okay.
Hold up. So you say hakuna record labels in Zimbabwe, right?
Yeah.
But I hear kuna record labels in Zimbabwe. So
no, we don't have record labels in Zimbabwe. I mean, the most disturbing and worrying thing for me.
What's a record label?
Okay, I mean, a record company consists of many components. Really, you have an A&R department, you've got your marketing, you've got your distribution. You've got a lot of functional components that are coming in together. In Zim, we don't have any of those. That's why we have every artist as a record label. In the sense, if I start singing today, I'll call it Shonhai Music. If Vokal Bakasa decides to sing today, we have a Vokal Bakasa music. Then we have the King Alfred music, and it's just, it just goes on like that. So that's why you also then have a lot of artists who cry foul over even the YouTube on a vocal. We have many artists on the music by YouTube uploaded by other people, and then as an artist, when you try to upload it yourself, you are hit or struck by copyright, infringement. So licensing of music. Copywriting, there's a lot that we're not doing in Zimbabwe. We've got global artists in Zimbabwe. We've got global artists. I believe artists like Natty O, should really have broken forth. But because we don't have a structure, if you look at South Africa at the moment, the girl who won a Grammy recently, a lot of people were not happy here beating people like Davido and Burna Boy. They were in the same category, but awards are not a popularity contest. When people are adjudicating awards, they've got a lot of things that they are looking at. And if you realize the gentleman who's managing that lady is the same guy who was managing Shoma Josie when she went global, when John Cena even walked out to her song. So if with a record label, their structures and their linkages, a record label will say, okay, all radio stations, you're going to play vocal or you're playing side colors. And they've managed to do that. They've managed to push that agenda. But in Zimbabwe, yeah, we have a long way to go.
So what do you need to do now here, gentlemen, Tripanaba, Vocal and Shonhai, we need to agree. So we don't have record labels in Zimbabwe, period. Vocal?
Yes, I'll put my head on the block. We don't have a single record label in this country.
What's your take on that note, Vocal?
Yeah, like
because Amoranzi Tina Samanyanga.
That's not a record label. That's not a record label.
Hansa Tina record label. So I'm just reading what's there in the comment section. So what's your take on that, Vocal?
Like Komamasho is saying, yeah, I believe we do not have a record label. We have
because I want you to speak loud on this one.
Okay.
Do we have a record label or not? I don't want you to chicken out. I want you to speak loud.
I'm just trying to elaborate. We have recording studios, not record labels.
Yes.
Okay. I've got a question coming from Kilatis manager. Hans, can you start a record label in Zimbabwe? That's his question.
I believe so. Yes, okay, a record label. Number one, for you to have a record label.
But did you understand his question? Yeah, answer Can
you
start a record label in Zimbabwe, right? What would record label yacho? So
yes.
So what's the take?
You can listen. For me to say you have a record label, we have spoken about. Vocal said Colors was the first artist to be signed Nature Sport, right? What did he get as remuneration for his sign on? Did he get anything, Vocal?
Okay,
no.
So even maybe.
Yes. Here's where I'm going. There needs to be money that comes into the industry, that is invested into the industry. For you to reap money out of the music industry, you need to invest into it, right? So to answer super the question yabvunza, if you're going to make money out of Zimbabwean music, you need to put money first. You need to invest in it. You can't expect to make money from something that you haven't. I mean, it's just like kujigara nekukoa. You can't expect to reap where you have not sowed. So you need to put money. We need to invest in it.
Okay. Thank you for your explanation, Mr. Shonhai. Once again, to those just log on, we got these gentlemen right here, Shonhai and also Mr. Vokal. We are just navigating through Z music, the positive things that we are seeing in the Z music, and also some of the things shouldn't go the chat just way up on the Apple. So I still feel like in your record label, Ninya Gutizo artists to go international. Inyaya irugutendra masekos. I don't know if you agree, my gentleman.
Yeah, agreed.
Right? Because artists that went international record label amuna those in gutendra muchi music industry.
I mean that's sorry to cut in there, King Alfred.
Okay.
When you're talking, that's another contentious and debatable issue about going international. What does it mean to go international?
That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to ask you, so guys,
okay.
This stigma Gutizo to international. But in the understand that Chishinos in the ocean Jekutanga, right?
Okay.
And also my artist style Zahargita background, right? Zurut one artist background, right? From the time, that's why I asked you earlier on, guys, but this from time Yamagatanga, Nepatawe, right? Hapana ere light report guys, you know what? Zanzaga Oma, Zinzachi, Zabo. We now need to go to the next stage. Because when you walk in by Tagariba Foundation, you end up roof. So at the moment, ta papi, tukwaka imba, yes, zimi industry, ta papi, nemba yedu. Where are we?
Do you want to take that vocal before I come in?
Yeah.
We are building a house, ta papi, nemba yedu.
It's
no, we'll come in. We'll come in. I want to hear Vocal's thoughts first, then I'll come in.
What's your say?
And what I think is, I think we take going international too seriously.
Thank you.
And we have to see, Kuti, does our music relate to the people out there? Because going international, it's not just singing Chirungu. That's what I believe. Because we have had international songs. Despacito is not English.
Yeah, Despacito is not English. That's true.
Gangnam Style is not English. We have had Zangalewa. We have Macarena. I think going international, it's how you sound to people and how they relate to your music. And if you put pressure on yourself and say, I want to go international, I want to sing in English, there are so many people that sing in English and they are not even international in their own countries. In countries that speak English. I'm not lying. Okay. That's the truth.
Are you done, Vocal?
Yes, I'm.
Okay. Mr. Shonhai, I think you love it.
Okay.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Musical Journey with the King Alfred right here on Honor TV and also on all social platforms, King Alfred and YouTube as well. Shout out to all those who are listening and shout out to all those people who are sharing. Mr. Masha Shonhai, what's your take on that?
I'll go back to the question of what is being international. I think when we're talking about it being international, we're talking about playing your music going beyond Zimbabwean borders, right? Your music being able to play on Nigerian radio, on American radio, on English radio, and the like, not just locally. That's the first part. The second part is when you are going to tour as an artist, you're not going to tikaenda ku UK, tikauya ku UK. We try to believe about mchatishedza ku UK. Ndakana mfana wangu last tiane comment yakakuisira yakati zvanzi zo ndofana kuya ku UK. If we're going to come, if we say artist aenda ku UK, Who are they singing for? Are they singing for a cross-racial, multinational sort of audience, or they're coming to sing for Zimbabweans who identify with that music? Right. For me, that's the question, where your music can be played in. I mean, like, we have a good example in the late Dr. Oliver Mtukudzi. That's a good example for an artist who went international. And even to answer the question that I mean, the point that Vocal made about language. I think just today, actually, there's a song that I posted. It's a song in Chewa. It's from Malawi. You know, you don't have to understand what they're saying, but good music is good music. Rumba was a hit in Zimbabwe, but we didn't even hear what they were saying in Lingala. So it's not about language. It's about identity, and is your music penetrating other languages, other areas? That's number one. Number two, if you go to a festival, what kind of festivals are you being called to? You know, so for me, that's the question of being international. And then in terms of positives, there has been a number of positives. I mean, if you look at if you want to look at collaborations, and I think Zimbabweans have done quite well. We've had some interesting collaborations, you know, that have come through. I mean, come through, though some debate that we've bought those collaborations, but I mean, whether we've paid for them or we haven't, they're still, you know, defined as collaborations. And number two, the advent of social media is really sort of like made our music penetrate some spaces, even local spaces, like what Vocal said. Radio is a bit of a closed space, and I think I've sparked debate in other spaces where I've said local radio is dead, you know, and a lot of people are not happy with me with that statement. But radio is sort of like, for me, I always argue that radio these days does not make anything trend. Radio actually follows trend. If something is hot on TikTok, on social media, then radio picks it up. You know, so social media has sort of equalized artists that we might have never known, who might have never played on radio. You know, so there are some positives, and I think, I mean, for me, speaking more to the area that I'm involved in, even the way that we're doing our live shows has totally changed. You know, we're actually going into set designs. We are seeing huge money, huge investments being made, you know, by a lot of companies behind the scenes in terms of tech gear, you know, your sound, your lighting, you know, and everything else. So there has been an improvement in as far as that is concerned.
You know, I think from what you just said, Mr. Shonhai, and also Vocal, I think from my side as well, I still think kune my positives akawanda ndaona ku Zimbabwe in terms of music, yedu ku Zimbabwe, regardless of the so-called international and whatever. But
of course,
positive yapo, especially kunema young artists, because you find out kudara tantingorin tantina mdara tuku, right? Na Thomas Mapfumo, right? Ndo angari ma artists angari ko kudara. And to be honest, music yafana maybe Eben Grooves nezim danzo yanga sati yaku. You understand what I'm saying? But at the moment, time is evolving, right? Our music, Zim Danzo and Zim Hip Hop, so many people are coming out in numbers. But I remember before Kudara, Zim Danzo and Zim Hip Hop, or Eben Groups. Wanga osingaite show, right? Mdara tugu very apple, which is taka namfana aruta Eben Groups. You have to make sure the counts took away muno wese ari mu UK kana weva kwari anotoziva kuti tikuenda kwakati kwamudara tukana kwamudara tuku anomunzera. So inini I think I've seen kuti vafana vechidiki, to be honest, they've brought the force in a dimension yekuti izvo aiwa guys, you know what, this is good. And also there's a gospel as well. Vauya for the force yao iri area kwauko. You understand? So look on the gospel artists up, right? On the Zim Danzo artists up, they all have different crowds,
of course,
right? And vanone that should far, right? But question you could now I more comment section there could, what is the youth of a manager? That's going to you, Mr. Vocal. What's the youth of a manager? And the best question here, Vunzwa na Mr. Let me just check here. I have to read the way it's written right here. And what's the duty of a manager? And Basara manager and Dere King at a professional level. A lot of us are ignorant about the role of a professional manager.
Okay. What I think a manager is a manager is someone who assists bands or artists in having sound business and creative decisions.
Yeah.
And a manager is someone who's willing to work 2 times more than the artist. A manager is someone who's ready to get his hands dirty so that he cleans up the image of the artist or the band of the artist. A manager is someone who's willing to help the artist grow. A manager is a ladder. You have to make sure that the artist grows and the artist has to go on top. So many people do not realize what a manager is. They think kuti ndakabata phone ndakafonera vana mukoma mashawo vakati vocal pana promoter ada kuti ashow panapa
That's it.
Manage.
That's a booking agent.
Yes.
So
many people do not know that.
So ipapo guys ndo patino tionesane because vanhu vakawanda they are talking much about nyaya management as well, okay? Because we were earlier on, I don't know, Mr. Marshall mapika kuti wakangozi na colors watoa manager.
Yes.
Because do you know what? That is typical of the Zimbabwean music industry. And if you notice, I'm going to Marichete, Agron's manager.
Okay, so because you were earlier on, wana Marikombi.
Angane Marikombi.
Ndanoona Marikombi. Then to manage.
Which is fine to some extent as well, because munanenga feel out izo panapa, you know what, I want someone anotaura nani nevano indombo mirachi pachigeta youth zviriko izvozvo, right? But it's also now nenyataura yekuti zo manager munhu anoita debt work,
yes,
to protect the brand artists. But
yes.
Question iripo Mr. Shonhai ndeyekuti manager ndidi anotora phone calls anodaira anoita sei. Why is it now vanhu vakawanda kuZimbabwe vari kuchema nenyaya yekuti ma-artists themselves anotofonerwa ozotongotaura manager andatora dhiri musi wa70 maybe artists maybe manager atori nebooking
another booking,
right? So ipapo panofamba sei, what advice can you give to aspiring musical artists, managers who want to succeed in this industry?
Okay. All right. You know, to be honest with you, I like the definition you put na vocal. He started off by mentioning somebody who handles the business side and the creative side. Most people do not actually understand that managers are involved in the creative decisions of the music. You know, that's one of the biggest roles of managers. Could the album, what are we trying to achieve? How is it going to sound and everything else? Some managers do not actually even take issue shows. If an artist is at the level that they're supposed to be, there's a whole department that takes care of my bookings. You know, there's a calendar that is there. You know, Panama tours, Panama dates. Most times, some of these shows, when they happen, they would have been arranged 6 months to 12 months before. You know, so manager preoccupation yake I say phone kwakati kune show here. You know, so number one, Zimbabwe, I'll go back to the issue which started in the music industry. That's why you find an artist then taking the calls. Okay, I'm going to buy. Let's say, for argument's sake, an artist charges 1.5. That's what they've agreed, the business decision that has been made. But if you phone the artist directly, because in the marshal and in a relationship with an artist, 750. So for anybody who really wants to make money out of music, there needs to be more structures, right? If an inquiry comes in, even if an artist gets a call directly, and I do that with some artists because of relationship, but that conversation always ends with the manager or the person who's responsible for the bookings. The artist has to divert, you know, the attention and that traffic back to the manager. In Zimbabwe, we'll say manager because they are going to who's handling that. So number one, people need to be professional. Right? Professionalism, number. If an inquiry comes through, do we even have an email address? Sorry, I'm a bit.
Okay, maybe.
Thanks.
Okay,
My thought was died there.
that's
Do
fine.
we even have an email address for the artist? Do we even have receipts? Are we even Zimra compliant? So there are a lot of things for my artists. I know we deal with a lot of corporates. A lot of our artists want to buy from 30% tax because they're not Zimra or tax compliant, But if you have a manager who is able to take care of that business side of things, like what Vocal is saying, then you can start going somewhere. The biggest issue that I would say is advice. Is people need to get educated in finding out or learning the role of the manager. On the internet, there's so many tools that are there that you can find. There's so many books that you can buy online that will teach you the role of an artist manager. And then we can start growing from there. It's an insult to say, man, Basara manager and my bookings.
Mhm.
That's the list of their roles in as far as music management is concerned.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So kune wakateerera right now hanzizo basa rekutora mabooks kuna managers, that's the list, but manager ane zvakawanda zvaanofanira kunge achiita akatakura pamashoulders ake apo. Mr. Shona, I want to thank you so much for your contribution,
Thank you, sir.
professionalism, and also what a manager is supposed to be doing. Because at the end of the day, I think Tatarania is really positive, but also to Dr. Rania tiende mbere, because in Baedu maybe yapa window level now. Tauda kusika pa imwe level this a roof. So to you, Vocal, now, how do you handle artist relations and ensure they are happy and supported in their career, if say you're a manager?
I think for one to keep an artist happy, you must sit down, set goals and targets, and make sure that you achieve those goals and targets in time. Every artist will be happy, and artists are like they're like fans at the end of the day, and you're a manager, you're like a player. So sometimes you have to score a goal so that they become happy. You have to run around, look for shows, like what Mgoma Masho is saying. Because Zimbabwe, we know my manager and out it as so you have to run around, look for shows. A happy artist is an artist that is performing week in, week out. An artist that is recording. An artist that is working. An artist that is working. So if an artist works, that means he's happy. If you see an artist that doesn't like to work, or that is not happy to work, leave that artist. They are lazy artists, and I've seen so many lazy artists. I'm not. It's not directed to anyone, but tine artist ekuti izvezvi wakamuti ngatishandei, unotoona kuti panapa ndaita mistake yekuti ndishande nemunhu because wakatomudza tiende kustudio ukutomboa.
Uchiripa Vocal, can you just tell us one element yekuti izvo ungatotora zveshuwa panapa ka ndio zviri kuitika? Can you give us one thing chaunotoona kuti you know what, let me just leave it?
I love people who are hardworking. If you're not hardworking, if you do not compliment my energy, I will go. And I've left some artists because they were lazy to work.
So in other means, you know your worth, right?
Yes, and I know what I want.
And do artists know their worth as well?
Nah, not many.
Not many.
Yes.
Okay.
If they knew their worth, the Zimbabwean music would be buzzing right now. But if you take a look at the music scene right now, there are only a few names that are being talked about, that are being talked of, and we haven't had so much great, good music in this period. Kubva muna December kusvika patiri panapa, we've only had probably 4, 5, 6 songs that we can talk about. But we have more than 300 to 400 big artists. Where are those artists when they see that there is Pani Gap? Where are they?
Okay. That's a good question. Direct to those who are listening right now. But Mr. Shonhai, Panibandautumbate as well, because in
Yeah.
some questions aruva mo comment section, and also the question I have here. I've got one iruva kuna Lawson Mukunyadze. Hanzi, thanks to Jonathan Moyo, who brought 100% local content. Vanga dae vasina kurira fana. What's your take, Mr. Shonhai?
Oh yeah, the very shortest answer is that's very correct. Okay, I'll give you my personal take on it, and it's always difficult to answer that question without going political, right? It was a political decision that was made. The reasons why it was made aside, right? Some people might not be happy with the decision that it was made politically to say, okay, we're going this direction. But if that decision had not been made, a lot of artists that we have today would have not existed, especially the urban grooves artists. They were created because the vacuum. All of a sudden, we radio is supposed to play 100% local content, and content had to be created. That's why if you listen to some of that music or that era, it was very poor quality, music, in as far as the quality of music is concerned. But it gave birth to artists. I mean, up to today, people are celebrating Mr. Put It, XQ. He's the product of that urban grooves, or rather the 100% local content movement. You talk of artists like an Alexio, an Aplaxedes, all those people, and a Decibel, they came to the fore. And even the artists that we have today, Holiten, Natio, and them, they are standing tall on the shoulders of those artists who pioneered the urban sound back then. So yes, it's correct to say that Professor Jonathan Moyo, with his 100% local content, decision, he indirectly or directly grew the local music industry. Otherwise, isusu takakura chiteera radio 3 and tainzwa ma R&B ana, so for real and all those things. That's what we listen to. But when radio was forced to play local content, we all had to to revert back to our own artists.
Gentlemen, once again, welcome to the show, Musical Journey with the King of it right here, with the two people that are gentlemen in the Zimbabwe music, Mr. Vokal and also Shonhai.
Yes.
Tinao nasi pano arongo tungo da navigate single bata up and up and up. But one thing that we've agreed here today, and that's a good tip, there are so many positive things in our music industry, and also Elon Man's got vocal ataragotizo. I think Mangwana Chabunza Fana, why usinga mention a vocal? But it's one of Chilson Records. We need to ask
Fantan is family. I always
yeah.
I always go.
No, this question is directed to you, Mr. Vocal, right? So
Yes.
how do you navigate the ever-changing music industry to ensure the artists stay relevant and successful? How do you navigate the ever-changing music industry?
I think right now the only way an artist can stay relevant is produce good music and have that social media appeal. Not kuti anowanika pasocial media achiita mascandals or what, but you engage with your fans.
Kutukana nemafans comment section. Come on.
This
person can sorry to cut in, but this person can be the head of marketing for some organization. It's not vocal auye apo ongori busy in the previous night kutuka vanhu comment section. I mean,
comment section wakamutuka because angachingoitawo pamwe
why was you still on that question, Mr. Shonhai?
Yeah.
How do you handle criticism or negative feedback from fans or critics? How do you handle that?
Okay, do you know what? When you're talking about criticism, there's constructive criticism, and there's just criticism for the sake of just criticizing because somebody either they're jealous or they don't like what you're doing. For me, I always look at the motivation for criticism. There's someone who say when they say something, you look at it and you reflect. You know what? But I'm not right to you, and you adopt that and you change. But some of these things, as soon as you ignore and you keep moving. You answer your critics by producing results. You work and you produce results.
Okay. Let me just go again to the comment section again. This is coming from Fadiso J Mushambi. What's the role of a promoter now? I need to be educated. Coming to you, Mr. Vokal. What's the role of a promoter?
A promoter,
Uh-huh.
to my own understanding, is someone who organizes a musical concert in order to gross income and also to
Go on. What's the role of a promoter?
Yes.
This is serious, we need to know from you.
So I laugh at pandinonzwa vanhu vachiti vakaona mufana artist mudiki iwe unofanira kutsvaga promoter anokupromota iwewe. A promoter does not, what I believe, a promoter does not promote an artist, kusumudza an artist kuti you are becoming this artist. A promoter
They
is
want
someone
ready-made artists so that they can make money.
Yes.
Mm.
Sa wakatouya uchiti I'm a new artist, promoter has manage. That's what I can tell you. So vanhu vakawanda vanozoti promoter vakandishandisa, it's because waenda wakanotaura naye zvisiri izvo, so akutora advantage.
So apa ndo panopauda manager anoziva kuti anotaura kuti, right?
Yes.
What about to those artists anenge asina managers then? So what advice can you give to the approach here or answer anofanira vachipa kuna promoter ari kutaura that language yauri kutaura?
I believe kuti everyone can start small. Pane pekuti iwewe unoti ndiri kushandiswa ndiri kuitiswa, but dzimwe nguva
but pamwe pacho unofanira kutomboitiswa, pamwe pacho unofanira kutoziva kuti panapa ndiri kuitiswa, and unofanira kuti uitiswe because you want to get somewhere. For me, I'll be very honest with you. In my living room here, I have a rope. Ndine rope yandinayo yakafanana nerope yatandakagadzirisa ring yaWinky D yaya. Pane event yandakamboita, and that's the payment I got, a rope, right? And munhu thought kuti amazi zvake zvaita, but for me I took it as a seed, as an investment. So whenever I see it, it serves as a reminder. So pamwe pacho bvuma kuitiswa because you want to get somewhere, you want to gain experience, you want to gain exposure. Saka pamwe pacho bvuma kupusa.
So saka Java totora ere senga yake kuti zo bvuma kupusa.
Yeah, ameno anafoka ntamba naya.
He's directed to you, Shonhai.
Java, no comment. Today I'm trying to be very civil and diplomatic.
Okay.
No comment.
I'll leave it there. Let me just go to thank you so much, Vokal, for your contribution, because I need to try to also go in the comment section and see what's coming in the comment section. Hansenala ZT directed to Mr. Shonhai. So are you saying Delani Makalima and Fortune Mparuta why Gazira poor production? I beg to differ, Mr. Shonhai, on that one. I think in terms of my group,
because of the
so maybe if you can try to
to explain, the shout out to one of the most amazing producers in the country, a hothead, a rebel with a cause. I love Laziti, he's my young brother. Zinondipinda inboxes that are up dara that's Lazi for you. So for me there, I just to correct that, I didn't say that people like Fortune and Delani, why producer low quality, poor quality. I mean, those are some of the best of the legends that we have in our country. I think both Fortune and Delani were way ahead, of the times. But I'll put my head on the block, King Alfred. Do you allow me to do that?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. If we go to, there's a song by a group called it should be Trinity. I want people to go and listen to that song. Song in my Discord, but it played on radio. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I wanted to pause there, Mr. Shonhai.
Yeah.
Vokal, what's your take, Mr. Shonhai, in terms of the music you play per radio that time, right? Because
even now, King Alfred, there's some music right now that's playing that deserves to be my demo tape. This is where again the need for record labels come in, where a label will tell you no, go back to the studio and work. Right now, ukapinda mbama vocal, mune computer, mune Fruity Loops or whatever it is that they're using these days, and we record a song. Badara, some DJs, somewhere, some station, and the thing is playing on radio. So there's no quality control. That's why some of our music cannot play outside Zimbabwe, because it's poor quality.
So quality control, right? Vocal maybe uchitaura on top in terms of quality, because that's the end of our next question. What's your take, Mr. Shonhai? Music at that time could pampas na quality at all, because Lazi tends to differ from what Mr. Shonhai is saying.
Yeah, I think Mr. Shonhai is entitled to his opinion at the end of the day. And what's
your opinion? Because my gens what we say, that's our opinion to the best of his knowledge. So yes. I'm asking you, what's your take? Usachke rasta, usamuchago rasta.
He's very, very correct. We do not have quality control. I can give you an example. An artist can record a song easily. You master substandardly. You enda ku radio, but maendera kuita ku radio ruenda through WhatsApp. WhatsApp compresses quality.
Yep.
And
WhatsApp, we always say that it loses quality.
DJ anovaitora obvatanga kuiridza paradio, and zvaita bo kuti mukoma wangu Lazi vari panapa. I still remember Lazi complained about song yaEndi Muridzo, akati song yo yakabuda isina kupedza kumasterwa. So when people hear that song, they will say it's bad quality, but they do not know that Endi Muridzo took that song isina kupedza kumasterwa, yakagadzirwa video yakabuda. So when people criticize, they'll criticize
the producer
on a level. Yes, and they criticize producer, and they are criticizing on a consumer level, not on a producer level. Your producer is that sina kwanga satapera, but ivo pavari kuzonzwa chinhu chachia, whether wabika sadza risina kuibva because magetsi azopera, inini kana riri mbodza ndinoti wandibikira chi sadza mbodza,
regardless of the reason. Yeah.
Yes. So I think Mkoma Mashaw vari correct, because at the end of the day, and sati ndambonzwa music yekuti albums mashoma, or music yacho ishoma yekuti unozonzwa kuti right album iri rakamasterwa nemunhu one. The first song has a high volume, the second song has low volume. Quality is kuti, yes, quality is kuti it's distortion only. Sometimes it's what you hear. Those elements in a song, are they coming out nicely? And if they do not come out nicely, then to me or to Marshall, it's not a good quality song.
Okay, so we need quality control.
Yes.
That is important. Unfortunately, apana checks and balances actually.
So quality control yedu inofana ngeri kuma radio stations. Because
not necessarily. Unfortunately, yes.
In personally, I think because Fruit Loops, right? Kuti ndo arikushandiswa nevakawanda kurekoda. And I think pane pachinotangira, right? So ZMC kudara wanga usingaendese marecords zvekumhanya, right? Kunzi record yako yanzi yatambirwa yazoridzwa zvainetsa. That's why ndiri kudzoka pakuti quality control, because producer anati apedza kugadzira music achita master at his best level, ikaenda kwainaenda, right? That's where they need to tell us what criteria they are using kuti vatambe record. That's why ndiri kuinsisa kuti
ipapo King ndikubate munhu muchitori ipapo kana ndopangu parikutofira bhora rachona rese. Some producers cannot mix and some cannot master. you know. So if you look at growing up as a young person, where I say my involvement in the music industry is not by mistake, ndaitenderedza record so kuseri kwekavha kweko utanga kuverenga kuti mastered by Ben Miller, engineered by Peter Mparutsa, you know, the a number of people that are involved in the production of a song. Kuti mwana gonoproducer chete, mwana unomixa, mwana master. So muZimbabwe ka, because hatina mari yacho ka, zvese zviri kuitwa nemunhu one, and we suffered there. That's where some of the quality now dies.
Okay. Let's just wait there. I got a few questions to ask you guys, and once again to all those who are in the comment section, thank you so much. I think I'm going to pick one or two things or one or two questions out there. No, gonna come on now, right? Because today I know it's a Valentine's Day. I think Zimbabwe is at around 11.
12 after 11.
Few minutes.
Kind of Valentine presents. That's how we have news.
And I know these guys. I'm not to be a Valentine present.
I know, guys. I know. I'm in comment section. I don't
know this of Vocal. What time did I have before asking the next question?
Vocal angatambira dzakawanda simpuwa mushamba nawo.
I think Vocal atambira dzakawanda. And also, once again, guys, if you feel like you want to contribute to this show, and if you feel like you want to be part of this show as well, and you want to be on the show as well, please make sure you can inbox me, DM me on Instagram, or send me to my number 079-317-6539, so that we can schedule a program for you to be here and contribute. So this one is going to you, Mr. Vocal. How do you see the future of entertainment industry in Zimbabwe industry evolving? How do you see the entertainment industry in Zimbabwe evolving?
Okay. This is not a prediction or a prophecy. But I once told someone that hip hop will be the biggest genre in Zimbabwe, probably. Why? Because the consumers of hip hop right now, they're still at school. They do not have disposable income.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's smart.
Once they start having disposable income, they'll come to shows. They'll fill up shows like what Zimdance was doing. But now they can't. So they mustn't say it's small, it won't go anyway, because their consumers are coming, and when they come, they'll come as big as Danso did. Vachirikuma University, they'll become workers, become CEOs. They will lead big brands. They will get those kids to get in endorsements. They will plug those kids to shows. They'll plug those kids to deals that has to do with music. And when they come, they'll come hard. But I must pray they will never make the mistakes that Zimdanso did. And if their time comes, and if music is evolving, they must evolve with the sound.
Wow. Coming to you, Mr. Shonhai, can you just tell us, or before I ask you next question, do you want to add to what Mr. Vocal said, or you agree or you don't agree to that?
No, I know what. I think I'll be doing injustice if I try to add or subtract what he said. He has really hit the nail on the head there. Yeah.
So Zimdanso is still on there, and this young guns are coming with the full package, right?
No, they are. I can just give an example of Urban Grooves. Sometime last year we did Urban Grooves show where we even had Decibel coming to Zim after so many years, you know. At that place we had to turn away people because they have money. They can come to shows, they can come to attend events, like what Vocal is saying. So it is very true, and that movement will grow.
Okay. Mr. Shonhai, your question now.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us any upcoming artist or cultural event in Zimbabwe that we should be keeping an eye on?
Okay. I think for me, in as far as artists are concerned, I love female artists. I always cry that we have very few female artists in our country, be it gospel or mainstream. So there's a young lady called Mandy Awe. I'm excited about that girl. She's one to watch. I think she's going to be a voice that's going to be around for a very long time. And as far as events are concerned that are coming up, unfortunately, because of our economy, we don't necessarily have events that are ongoing or recurring, save for a few like your Jacaranda Music Festival. I think that's something that people can look forward to. And Janet Manua's another night of Thanksgiving. I think what Zimbabweans need to do, to be very honest, if you're going to support this industry, is to attend shows, right? And is to actually buy a ticket and enter into the show legally. I think that is where we're having our problems. Ndinotaura Shona, hama dzadiwa ndinokumbirisawo kuti titenge matickets. Chokwadi asiri fake, tisapuwe matege fake. That is the only way this industry can grow. That is the only way our artists will not beg for cars. That is the only way our artists can be people that we look up to. So my cry and my appeal to Zimbabweans is that everyone has a role to play, and as consumers of music, I mean, for local music, please try your best to part with some money for local music.
Wow. And I thank you so much, Mr. Shonhai, on that. But let me just read a comment. In terms of music, that time, Eben Guze, this coming from Thomas Matikiti. It's not a blanket statement. There were remnant artists back then who took time to perfect things, but the majority of music that was released during the Jonzo era was substandard. It still happens today, but standards are improving across
That's true.
All genres. This is coming from Thomas Matikiti. What's your take, Mr. Vokal, on that?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'm just reading this message of Kuna Mr. Matikiti about music produced by a substandard. But my question was, you, Mr. Vokal, Kuti, which young artist or event that we need to keep an eye on? My upcoming artists are report kind of event that caught up your eye. Kuti, you know what, guy, this event.
I think if it's about artists, people have to look out for Blink 4. Blink 4 is that one artist who's coming in with fire. He's singing about social commentary and he's using hip hop. He's talking about the real life issues and he's using hip hop. And he's coming with a very, very different type of flow that many people can relate to. You can listen to Blink 4 Pananamboya. You can listen to Blink 4 Pananatezar. And the moment he stays within that lane and becomes consistent, he's going to be a big artist that doesn't have any competition. Blink 4 does not have a competition in his lane. So he's free to move with his own space, with his own pace.
So coming to the theme dance, which artists can we look up to?
I can still say
the dancer is dead.
You said before it's not dead. You know it's dead. So which artists can you look up to, Mr. I'll come back to you, Shonhai. Which artists can you look up to?
On Danzo it's very tricky, but I think people have to keep on supporting Master H because I think he's one of the last firemen's genre. He brings
what caught you eye on Master H? Can you tell us more on that?
Another funny story. I think I'm the first person to ever have a video of Master H doing a live show in Mbare Stodet Complex. I think it's still on my Facebook page. His very first show.
Uh-huh.
and the way he rocked the stage with
Thank you.
songs people knew
Thank you.
uh, from his freestyles.
Mm-hmm.
He's a born entertainer.
Yep.
He's a born entertainer. He might
Mm-hmm.
lack other things. He
Mm-hmm.
might not have other specs, but I can guarantee you that Master H, no matter the lineup, no matter the show,
Mm-hmm.
you bring fire on stage.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much,
Mm.
Mr. Vocal. Let me just read one or two comments from the comment section here, and I'll give it to Mr. Shonai. I've got a trick question for you. You better get ready, Mr. Shonai.
Okay. All right.
This coming from Blessing Jenna is one of the bloggers in Zimbabwe. He resides in South Africa. Is one of the bloggers that I always follow as well. He says
Mhm.
lately some local artists have moved a notch further in music production. The production is now big. If you look at the last project by Aishan, Free Match HKD, Natty O, Gemma, Nicky Genius, etc., the production is now good. He's talking about the production wise, right? And also coming from Ray Spector is a guys, we love it. Thank you so much, guys. We love it so much. And Natasha Kugotsi, hip hop artists are putting work lyrically, but dancehall ya kwanza motoriro pa my lyrics. This coming from Natasha Kugotsi. All right, is in I think he's in Scotland. She's in Scotland. Hannah Priscilla Kamwendo, please man, go out and get my tickets. My tickets go out and hanzi mizamashosho naye tiri kudai pacalculator. Okay, we'll see.
Mm.
This is a question, Hansi. So this is coming to King Alfred. I have a question for you, King Alfred. Why do UK shows have poor stage management and substandard venues at times? Rongeka pa UK app. I think I'll answer you later on that one, right? This is coming from my brother Lawson Mukunyadze. Let me see who is there. Hans, my fake tickets gari pasa this quarter. Let me see coming from Luck Moyo. Depends on what the music is for and who the consumers of that music are. Substandard and standards are varied from subjectives. There are also so many avenues for income through music, right? Live shows, recording, commission works, education, arts, well-being, soundtracks, arts-based training, team building, away days. The list is endless. This coming from my brother Lakmo Moyo, right? Now to you, Mr. Shonai, and also Vocal. Coming to live shows, right? Can you tell me your memorable event that you have managed, right? And what was your feeling after the show from Shonai and also to Vocal? I'll start with the Shonai.
Wow. That's a loaded question. I think for me, every event that I've been part of has really has brought about, lots of lots of things with it. But if I'm to mention a few shows, for me, the Banner Boy show stands out as one of the best events that I've been involved in, because of the professionalism that I learned working with that team there. I call that event for me university, especially just observing and encountering Bena Boy's manager, who's also his mother. Mama Bena is, she's a beast. I learned a lot just seeing how she carried herself around and how she executed the business. For me, that experience backstage and just interacting with them showed me that we still have quite a long way to go in as far as carrying ourselves as an industry, as a people. For me as well, another show that I can say was something that it gave me goosebumps. It was what we called Redefined a couple of years ago. Seeing Winky D Natty O and Japraiser on that one stage, and the things that happened at that show, for me, really, yeah, it's still, yeah, I get goosebumps whenever I think of it. I've seen artists in Zimbabwe on the stage. I mean, Freeman's album launched just recently at the at Alex Sports Club. The production, the quality of production of live music. If anybody understands music, Freeman went gospel on that album. He went gospel. Even in terms of their delivery on stage, he had about 12 backing vocalists that were there. So for me, the production, the quality of production there was amazing. And for me, the biggest one, obviously, is working with Janet Manyoa. For me, I think of all the artists that I've worked with in this country, Janet has grown me. She is a demanding artist. She's demanding in the sense that she knows exactly what she wants and how she wants it. So for me, she has pushed me as a creative. So I mean, working with her is always interesting, and also, of course, the privilege that I've had working with Japraiser and Winky D as well. Those productions for me still stand out. And I want to mention two things that I've seen. Or two shows that I saw. One artist, that's Master H, that Vocal just mentioned. At Freeman's album launch and at Winky D's Ghetocracy at the HICC, the young boy has a way with the crowd. The young boy will have people eating out of his hands. I mean, his craft on the stage. Yeah, he can work a crowd. I mean, there's some people who just, when they step on the stage, they become something else. He's a very meek, sort of shy artist when you're interacting with him. But the moment he steps on that stage, kind of like reminds me of Winky D. Winky D is a very reserved and shy person. But when he comes and steps on stage, he takes on another persona and becomes, something else. Even Japraiser, when you interact with him, but the moment that those artists step on the stage, they transform and they become something else. Yeah.
Mr. Vocal, what's yours? What's a memorable event that you attended or that you kept yourself, or that you think this was my best event? Before I ask the last question.
Okay. I think Sting was the best event.
Sting.
Yeah. Yeah. That one.
Tell us about Sting. Yeah. Tell us about Sting.
I do not think I'll ever see
an experience like that again.
Yes, an experience like that again. It was like Dynamos versus Caps United, vintage Dynamos versus Caps United. People were donned and in Mabanditi t-shirts, in Jalaf t-shirts. There were flags. People were chanting their names. It was full to capacity, and it was electrifying. The moment I stepped there, I thought that God is there and God does amazing things.
Yeah, that was down to its best right there.
So that was the best show that you can say, this was my best show.
That was my best Zimdanso show. I don't think there will ever be any
other show. I think just to cut in there, I think
Mr. Lazio.
Yes.
I think for me, if we are to talk about showbiz in Zimbabwe, if we are ever going to write about the history of the local music entertainment, we cannot. The story will not be complete without mentioning Sting. I think that was the highest level, the epitome of dancehall. I prefer calling it dancehall. God forgive me. This is the same thing that we do to hip hop and dancehall. we need to change that. Let's find other names for it. But anyway, for me,
hold on. You want to change the names?
I think you know what, it's a conversation that I was shying away from, and I think my good friend Plot Marco has mentioned it before. This is where we have lagged behind compared to South Africa. South Africa has had movements that are ongoing in terms of sounds and naming those sounds. Why we keep saying Zimdanso is dead, we're not saying it's dead. They're normal artists, right, who are singing that genre, but that genre has evolved. If you look at the sound that Killer T Chairman is singing now, the sound that he has now, it's not the sound that he had in 2012. Back then, it has evolved. Winky D as well. the sound has evolved. You know, even if you listen to Freeman, the sound has evolved. So we need to move that. We had Urban Grooves. That movement lived for its 20 years. It passed. Zim Dancehall came in. Now we're saying Zim Hip Hop. I mean, let's find other names and let's be able to move with the times. I mean, South Africa has had piano, has had house, has had, you know, all sorts of movements.
So
Yeah.
you're actually saying that the name, let's leave it, and let's find a new name, right? But the music itself is still there. It's still
It's still
living.
there. I mean, Anna Vokal, you talk about this thing that I've
Do you,
never
do
really
you,
understood.
do
So
you,
my
do you
helmet,
agree,
what do you
do you
mean
agree
about
on
it?
that?
What is helmet, Vokal? Can you explain? My helmet, Chief.
I've never been a fan of helmets because I
Uh-huh.
think it's just copying the Jamaican style without
Uh-huh.
adding any Zimbabwean flavor to it. I was okay with Zim Danso, as many
Mhm.
people know, but deep down, Kugeto, with Zim Danso, we
Okay, let me just. This is a tricky one, and this one I've seen so many people saying this. This is coming from Blessing Jenna,
Mhm.
right? He believes that Zimbabwe music is monopolized, controlled by few people, right? I've got this one coming also from Mashi Krosimuchki. Um, there are guys who control, and these guys are controlled. Hold on. Let me just read this from Marsha. Let me just read as it is. I think if you're watching the comments again, you can see Hansi Blessing Jenna. These guys are controlled. There are people behind the whole decide kuti ndiani anofanirwa kurira. Do you agree kuti kune vanhu who determine kuti uyu ndiye anofanirwa kunge achirira? Vocal, I'll start with you. Do you think the music industry is monopolized?
Mkoma.
Let's hear your thoughts.
Mkoma.
Because this show is unfiltered. We just need people to know exactly what's there. Do you think the music is monopolized?
That's a myth. We've had people force their tasks to listen to them. I could mention names right now, but we have people vakatoramba kuacceptwa nevanhu. It's not monopolized. No one can tell you what to listen to. I can bring Jordan and Christian Panapa Chimba collaboration to they are the next big thing in Zimbabwe. You can listen to them because I've said it. But for you to consistently listen to them, it's now up to you.
Okay.
It's not up to me.
So
no one has the power.
Monopolize the music.
No one has the power to tell people what to listen to.
Listen to. Thank you. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you, Marshall Shonhai. What's your take on the question that's coming from the comment section?
I think the guys in the C section, they're right to some extent. You know, it's always a difficult question. They are gatekeepers. Gatekeepers are there. You know, in any industry that you can think of, gatekeepers are there. In as far as music being monopolized, I think that's where money comes in, where people have money to pay journalists, to pay DJs. So you said you have certain narratives and agendas being pushed. You know, certain artists getting airplay. So whilst they might be forced down our throats like that, if the music is not good, it will not catch on. But yeah, there are people who've tried. The people who've tried ways with you. I mean, like I think I've grown up quite a long few years back. I would have been throwing around names, but yeah, we've had people. Brown envelopes have been pushed. You know, for certain artists to play over certain artists, or even for certain artists not to be played. So that is there. I mean, payola is there. You know, DJs worldwide are paid to play a certain artist over certain artists. So yeah, it's common practice. It is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
From what you just said, I think we got one more question to go now. From what you just said, Mr. Marshall Shonhai earlier on, Mataura and also a vocal Wataura as well. You agree with Shonhai kuti tofana chinja kuti maybe kana Zim hip hop tombo ipari zita, but for now tofana uchinja Zim danzo topa zita. Hansi Saka, what will you call Afrobeats in the next 20 years of it evolves, Mr. Shonhai? This directed to you.
Okay, I mean, in as far as Afro beats is concerned, I wouldn't really. I'm not part of that movement. So for me to say this, but I can speak to our own music, right? If you're to talk about even the hip hop that we're calling Zim hip hop right now, it's different from what people like Stana used to do. That sound has already changed. It is more of an African feel, African flavor to it. So I mean, it's up to us. I think online there was something that was trying to be pushed called Zimpop, something like that. It's up to us. I mean, we can find names that are relevant to us. I mean, South Africa came with, of all names, they came with Amapiano. I mean, let's be creative. I can't think from the top of my head that I can call it this, but I mean, we can be creative about naming our sounds.
You know what, gentlemen, I just want to thank you so much for having you on this show, sharing your thoughts. But my last question to Vocal, and also I think you are going to support me on this one. Do you still want to be a manager, or are you looking forward to be a manager or pana artist or that manager for now, or can I go to you just want to be a gatekeeper garazago uchingo chipa mama like an advisor? Do you still want to be an artist manager? How do we go in the nungo zago? Because I can see
Before
the potential.
before he answers, he better think carefully about the answer he's about to bring, because I have him on record having told me something. So yes, Mr. Bakasa, you can answer
need
us.
to record him. We want you to record him, and also to all those who are in the comment section and those who are watching us from all corners of the universe, don't have good tend to make this show possible, because Nancy this is Zim industry. And the one thing that we've agreed, Zim music, Hainakofa, Zim music is still there. Zim music is there, and my positive is Zim music actually no matter Zim dance or Zim hip hop, but we just want to my eyes. They say so back to you, Vocal. Tell us.
Yeah, I still want to be a manager, but I can't run away. One thing that I know is no one can run away from their passion. It's my passion. Whether I don't want to be a manager.
What's stopping you? You said that earlier on, but what's stopping you, please?
Blast, mkomana ngata or an artist who I can't introduce show ya winki.
Tell us, just tell us.
That's madira kadakwe. Madira kadakwe.
It's still in the pipeline. But it's more of
manager Kama.
And I was about to say to you, player kids zoga kudimbare saka tichanyetsa.
I don't know that.
Player kids zoga kudimbare saka ma one futi wa.
Makwenda ground. Magno zero ground.
But we're still waiting for answer, please.
It's a passion. I can't run away from it, but it needs someone who complements the energy that I bring.
If you had to say today, go and manage someone, who do you want to manage?
My passion has been Blood or Bazooka.
For a long time, yeah. For a long time. Bazooka, yes. I was waiting for that name, Bazooka. What's happening with Bazooka?
What's you for managing them?
To be the interview. What is happening? What is the latest with Bazooka? Because you introduced him to me on the 31st of December. So what is happening there?
We're still sorting a lot of things. I think there are a lot of loose ends. He has to tie up on his side, and there are a lot of
your side as well.
Yes, but hopefully when the time comes,
at least there's something coming out. I think they see something coming out. Okay, so Mr. Marshall, gentlemen, I just want to thank you so much for being on the show, and your contribution to this show means a lot. And I think we've learned a lot, and we also learned a lot from these people. Comment second, and also my silent listeners. And Simbarashe, manager Vocal mukuru band. Sakano fanora as a manager. So pano wangu kumbira uti ukava panapa sanya so with the hashtag bring back Vocal, right? As a manager. Tono zichasuka. Mr. Marshall, I just want to thank you so much, and
thank you, King.
I can't wait to see you to the UK, because we're Nokawanda. wanakukona UK mchimbo mashela masteja takamira say. And also to all those who are listening, don't forget on the 25th of May, Zimbabwe couples, and also the man of the moment, Aruto Lorenzo, Mr. Master H is coming to the UK as well. I will be accompanied by Bazooka and also Choose with Fondant and Levels, not forgetting Mr. www. His name is called Ango Epatan, 25th of May. All right, Mr. Shonhai, thank you so much.
King.
Your
Thank
last
you,
word to
King.
the people who are listening before you go. Last word to you.
Okay, I think my last word is guys, let's sleep, eat, consume Zimbabwean music. It's our music. We are the only ones who can support it. So let's buy and listen to local. Let's support local.
Yep, Mr. Vocal. What's your last word?
My last words. I think the Zim music industry is too small to have fights. Let's unite and have one purpose. And at the end of the day, whoever blows up to be international, says another. Let's support that person. Because my fights are true kupedza tichiita dai tiri kutopusha music kuti masha wabudisa album devanhu vari kutotera zvinhu zvese izvozvo, but we fight because I don't like Marshall. Yes, because I don't like Marshall. So Marshall akati King Alfred ane song yakaipa, I'll criticize just because I do not like Marshall. It's killing the growth of the industry. It's killing the growth of the young kids that want to grow. And also I want to thank Rockefellers, Zimbabwe Slam, Lazi, Blessing, and everyone who pushes music. Keep on doing that, guys. Msa Perepao, like Natu always say.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. It was a pleasure having you on the show. We can't wait to see again in the future. Taku Nyasogita revisit Sadataura Nas. Turn out the Zaman Festa. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you so much, King, for having us. Thank you.
Yeah, once again, gentlemen, it was a pleasure having these gentlemen right here on the show, Mr. Masha Shonhai and also Mr. Vocal. It's a pleasure for you to be right here on the show as well. Make sure let's support the movement. Zim music Zim danzo it just evolves. Shout out to all the artists at the music industry in Zimbabwe. Shout out to all the promoters, my bloggers, my managers. Shout out to you. Moneta could do. Let's keep Zimbabwe music. We are proud to be Zimbabweans. And the Tinosika Chete kunofungidzira kuti because kwatakatangira ndokwanga kwakaoma, but now it's all right. So let's support each other. We are one family. United we stand, divided we fall. From myself, King Alfred, thank you so much for supporting this show again. Miss Ojen with the King Alfred. Once again, Konewasina Valentine present, please. Jamugaya Komana. Thank you so much. Go bed Tapua Nyando, shout out to you. Melanie, shout out to you. Everyone who was in the shout box, shout out to you. Shout out to my sponsor, Rockefeller. Big up yourself. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We are out. Thank you. See you next week with Chippers. My next guest will be Chippers next week, right? Alongside Simba Bod Slam, right? And guess what? We're gonna add one more person there. We're still talking with the Lazy T. We'll see how it goes. God bless you all.